In February 2018, an Italian oil company found something in the eastern Mediterranean. A huge gas field right off the coast of Cyprus. This field was part of the region's vast gas deposits, estimated to be as big as 3.5 trillion cubic meters. That's enough potential energy to power the United States for nearly a decade. Tension is mounting in the eastern Mediterranean over these discoveries as countries vie for control in an area rich with unclaimed resources. The potential for military action is rising as neighbors forge new alliances and old wounds flare up in the regional scramble to secure energy rights for the coming century and beyond. It's no surprise that everyone in the region wants as big a piece of the pie as they can get. And for the most part, they've all claimed their shares. Egypt has started to exploit its oil and gas reserves and is now a regional exporter. Europe has long been wanting to cut its reliance on Russian gas, and the energy-hungry trading bloc would be an ideal market for Eastern Mediterranean natural gas. So what's the sticking point? The main cause of friction here is Cyprus, and the overlapping and competing claims different groups have made over it. Since a bloody conflict took place in 1974, the island has remained divided between Greek and Turkish Cypriots. The southern half, the majority Greek Republic of Cyprus, is recognized by the United Nations. The Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is not internationally recognized, but its autonomy is nonetheless guaranteed by Turkey. Relations have got so bad between the fractious neighbors that both sides have threatened military action to defend what they say are their territorial rights over the sea. Normally, these territorial rights are defined by the UN's Convention of the Law of the Sea. This document allocates up to 12 nautical miles from any nation's shore as its territorial waters, and up to 200 nautical miles as its EEZ, or Exclusive Economic Zone. As the name suggests, anything found in or under the ocean out to this distance is its own, exclusively. But unlike Greece, the Republic of Cyprus, and most of the world's nations, Turkey did not sign that UN convention. Instead, it has its own way of deciding limits of EEZs. Turkey uses the continental shelf theory, which says that a country's landmass, and therefore the EEZ, extends underwater to the very edge of the continental shelf. Using this theory, they've refused to accept that islands can have these zones. They say any island's influence is only as far as 12 nautical miles. These two calculation methods have triggered a cascade of claim and counterclaim. Early last year, the energy ministers of Cyprus, Greece, Egypt, Jordan, Israel, and Palestine all met in Cairo to discuss cooperation and the setting up of the East Med Gas Forum. Turkey was pointedly not invited.
Cyprus has taken steps in order to delineate its exclusive economic zones. It's planning in the future, when it will be feasible, to export its gas through a pipeline, the famous East Med pipeline, that will transport Israeli and Cypriot gas to Greece and further to European Union markets. It's a rather contested project. It's a very expensive project. It will be the lengthiest undersea pipeline in the world, almost 2,000 kilometers. These are highly symbolic acts. Whether the pipeline will happen or not, it shows that there is an agreement. It shows that there is a strong cooperation between Cyprus, Egypt, and Israel in the area.
Turkey is feeling diplomatically isolated and left out of this emerging system of cooperation. With a rapidly growing population and a reliance on imports for 90% of its natural gas, Turkey is desperate to secure its own regional supplies. By refusing to acknowledge Cyprus's EEZ, Turkey does also not accept the bilateral deals Cyprus has made with Greece, Lebanon, Egypt, and Israel. Instead, Turkey has made its own deals. With its large armed forces, Turkey is now involved not just in northern Syria, but also in the rapidly expanding war in Libya. In November, Turkey and UN-recognized Government of National Accord of Libya signed a bilateral maritime deal that carved up a large portion of the eastern Mediterranean between them. Using their continental shelf method, they allocated themselves blocks for drilling and gas exploration. But several of these blocks were just off the Greek islands of Crete and Karpathos. This immediately invoked heavy condemnation from Greece and the international community as not only illegal, but a major destabilizing move. Turkey's go-it-alone attitude is upsetting its neighbors. Last December, it sent armed drones to mine over exploration ships in contested waters. In May, a French aircraft carrier conducted drills off the coast of the island when France felt Turkey had encroached on an area French oil companies were themselves exploring. In a clear message to Ankara, the United States announced in July that it would start training the Cypriot military. Turkey has now said it will send exploration ships into the contested blocks off Crete within months, with Greece responding by saying those vessels will be sunk. With so much at stake and so much wealth and security to be had, the region stands to greatly benefit if everyone's interests are satisfied. The Cypriot Republic has already requested a ruling from the International Court of Justice in The Hague on its and Turkey's overlapping claims, and both parties have much to gain from cooperation. However, as it stands, a single incident could unravel this tense and fragile peace, triggering a cascade of events that could easily draw the region into a devastating war.